Dishwasher fights off attack. The biker gang never had a chance. The clatter of dishes was constant, like rain on a tin roof. At Ruby's Diner, in a dusty corner of Arizona, Cal Becker stood elbow-deep in suds. The dishwasher was in his 50s, tall, broad, with lines on his face like cracks in dry earth. Most folks didn't look twice at him. He barely spoke, kept his head down, always polite. But if you looked real close, into those steel-gray eyes, you'd see something buried deep. War. The locals whispered. Some said he'd been special forces. Others guessed prison. The truth? No one really knew. And Cal liked it that way. It was just past 9 when they rumbled in the Blackjacks. 7 of them. Engines howling like wolves. They parked their custom bikes crooked in front of the diner, like they owned the joint. Tattoos, cuts, chains, the usual intimidation gear. The leader, Torque, was built like a bear with a beard to match. His second, Spaz, had a twitch and a habit of giggling before violence. Inside, the waitress Sandy froze at the sight of them. She cast a glance toward the kitchen, where Cal was rinsing plates. They came in loud, stinking of oil, sweat, and trouble. Torque kicked over a chair just for fun. "Table service, sweetheart," he barked, slapping the menu out of her hand. "And make it fast. We're hungry." Cal's ears perked. They weren't just rude. They were hunting something. Sandy forced a smile and scribbled down orders. Torque grabbed her wrist when she turned. "You still dating that cop from Tucson? What's his name, Carlos? Maybe we pay him a visit next." The laughter that followed was guttural. In the back, Cal shut off the sprayer, dried his hands, walked to the line cook, a skinny teen named Derek, and said softly, "Take a break." "What? Now?" There was something in Cal's tone that made Derek obey. Cal walked to the walk-in freezer and pulled out a crate. Beneath the frozen goods, a wrapped bundle. He unrolled it carefully. Inside, gloves, a small earpiece, a tactical flashlight, a roll of zip ties, and a Gerber combat knife, not just military issue, Delta Force. Cal's past had come knocking. Back in the dining room, the bikers were escalating. Spaz poured ketchup down a customer's back. Another yanked a framed photo off the wall and smashed it. "Hey," Sandy shouted, too angry to stay quiet. Torque rose. "You got a problem, darlin'?" He grabbed her by the apron. That's when the lights went out. Total darkness. Confused murmurs. Then a low voice from the shadows. "You boys picked the wrong diner." The first went down silently. A flash of movement, the glint of steel. Spaz was yanked backward into the kitchen. A thud. No scream. Just gone. Torque drew his blade. Who the hell? The emergency lights blinked on. 6 bikers. 1 missing. Cal stepped into the doorway. Calm. Unshaken. The sleeves of his dish uniform were rolled up, forearms like corded rope. "You've got 2 options," he said. "Walk out, or crawl out." They laughed, then charged. The first 2 came swinging chains. Cal sidestepped, elbowed one in the throat, and kneed the other so hard he collapsed with a wheeze. 3 seconds. 2 men down. The third swung a bar stool. Cal caught it mid-air, twisted, and used it to launch the attacker into a booth, snapping the wood. Torque growled. "Kill him." Cal ducked a punch, slammed the attacker's wrist into the counter, and zip-tied him to a table leg. Another tried to stab him. Big mistake. Cal caught the wrist, twisted until bones popped, then drove his palm into the man's temple. Out cold. For down. Torque rushed in, grabbing a pool cue and swinging it like a mace. It shattered against Cal's shoulder. Cal didn't flinch. He dropped Torque with a punch that echoed off the walls. 1 strike. Years of combat behind it. The silence that followed was thick. Sandy stared, mouth open. Customers peered from under tables. Cal looked around at the wreckage. Broken glass. Groaning bikers. He straightened his apron. "I'll need the mop," he muttered. 15 minutes later, the sheriff arrived. "You do this, Cal?" he asked, surveying the pile of restrained bikers. "They slipped," Cal said dryly. "A lot." The sheriff smirked. "Guess it's a good thing you stayed retired, huh?" Cal didn't answer. He was already back at the sink. Epilogue: the next week, Ruby's Diner was full every night. Locals whispered the story, how quiet Dishwasher dismantled a biker gang with nothing but a mop handle and a dish towel. Someone tried to tip him $50. He refused. "Just doing my job," Cal said. But now, when those engines growled down the highway, they never stopped at Ruby's again. 3 days later, across the border in a dilapidated warehouse outside El Paso, a bloody man sat on a steel chair, wrists bound, face swollen like bruised fruit. Spaz, the blackjack who'd been dragged into Ruby's kitchen and knocked out cold, groaned. His leader, Viper, Torque's older brother, and the true head of the Blackjacks, stood watching with a face like a rusted bear trap. "You let one dishwasher take out 6 of you?" Viper hissed. Spaz spat blood. He wasn't just a dishwasher, man. He moved like a F*** in Ghost. Military or something. Viper turned away, biting down on a cigar. Torque's in the ICU. 2 boys got concussions. One's got a broken pelvis. One man did that. He turned to a younger biker, Twitch, who stood nearby, fingers trembling with excitement. "Round everyone up," Viper ordered. "We ride tonight." Back in Arizona, Ruby's diner, Cal Becker moved with purpose as he fixed the broken chair from the other night. Hammering nails in with precision, he was almost tranquil, but Sandy could tell something was off. "You've been quiet," she said. Cal looked up from the work. "Quieter than usual?" "Yeah, that's saying something." He stood and peeled off his gloves. "This isn't over. Gangs like that don't just walk away. Not after humiliation." She frowned. "What do you mean?" "I saw the way the big one moved, Torque. He wasn't the boss. He was second-tier muscle. That means the real leader's still out there." Sandy swallowed. "So what do we do?" Cal walked to the back, flipped open his locker, and this time pulled out a black duffel bag he hadn't touched in years. "Prepare." Desert roads. Midnight 20 bikes thundered down the empty highways. Blackjacks. Full force. At the front, Viper rode a custom chopper painted with red flames and chrome skulls. Behind him, men with bats, chains, sawed-off shotguns tucked beneath jackets. Their target, Ruby's diner. "We burn the place down," Viper said into his headset. "And we string up that son of a bitch on the signpost." 2:04 a.m. Ruby's diner. Sandy and Derek were inside. Cal had told them both to stay low and out of sight. The diner was closed. Lights off. But the rooftop? That's where Cal waited. Night vision goggles. Suppressed rifle. Ear comms active. He watched the horizon. Heard the distant echo. 20 bikers, minimum. 2 trucks. All armed. He inhaled, long and slow. Years ago, this would have been a forward ops mission in Fallujah. Now it was his home. And he'd defend it the same way. 2:27 a.m. First contact. The gang approached with high beams off, trying to be quiet. But Cal saw everything through thermal optics. As the first biker tried to sneak around back, Cal dropped him with a tranquilizer dart, not fatal, but enough to put him down for hours. Second biker? Tossed. Third? A flashbang greeted him at the rear kitchen door. Panic set in. "We're under attack," someone screamed. Viper bellowed. "He's got reinforcements. Get in there." They charged the building. Big mistake. Inside, close quarters, they breached the front entrance. Cal let them. He'd set tripwires just inside the booths. One biker went down hard, leg tangled. 2 others were blinded by homemade pepper spray bombs set under the counter. Cal dropped into the fray like a predator. Elbow to throat, knee to the sternum. Grabbed one of their own batons and used it with surgical precision. They swung wildly. He moved like mist. Derek peeked from the pantry and nearly fainted as Cal took down 4 men in under 10 seconds. "Is he even human?" Derek whispered. Sandy just whispered, "Delta Force, back outside." Viper gets serious. Viper realized they were being toyed with. He pulled out a walkie. "Bring out the heavy." From the truck, 3 men unwrapped something wrapped in a tarp. An M134 minigun. "I'm done playing," Viper snarled. They set it on a tripod aimed directly at the diner. Then boom. A massive blast sent fire licking skyward. Not from the gun, from the truck. Cal had rigged it. Remote charges hidden under the chassis. Detonated the moment they tried to move. Heavy firepower. Viper was thrown off his feet. His ears rang. And when he blinked the smoke away, Cal was standing above him. "Final confrontation. I heard of you," Viper growled. "You're the one from Mosul." "Operation Black Sand." "Thought you died." Cal crouched. "I did. That version of me did. This version washes dishes. Until people like you come along." Viper tried to reach for his boot knife. Cal kicked it away. "You're not walking away from this," Viper spat. "No," Cal replied. "You are. But you're not riding. And you'll tell the others. Don't come back." Aftermath. By sunrise, sheriff cars surrounded the diner. Viper and the rest were zip-tied and stacked like lumber. Sheriff Whitaker asked, Want a medal? Cal shook his head. Just a clean sink and hot coffee. Sandy brought him both.